This is Thunder Goose Podcast. That's not how you started either. No.
Hey guys, this is Thunder Goose Podcast. In case you didn't know,
We're doing something special today.
we're doing something epic.
This is a good day. This is a fun day. You know how everyone else did their Game of the Year shit already and Game of the Anime of the Year stuff. Like you know how that's like everywhere else already done.
Yeah, you know those dumbasses that did it way too soon.
Yeah,
we're doing it at the right time.
We waited till everything actually ended, and we could try as much as we could. Except for I didn't play Sonic Frontiers, but hey, we did everything else.
It sucks. We all know it sucks.
It's garbage. That's it.
Yeah, it's Sonic. Fuck Sonic.
It's Sonic.
What did he do? Run fast? Cool.
Nice. So we have a list of two separate categories, games and anime. We have about 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever it is for each of them of different criteria that we've laid out. Jesus, this is a terrible sentence. We have 2 separate things, games and anime. They each have a bunch of categories. We each chose our favorites of the category, and now we're going to do it and tell it to you in the worst possible and not communicated. Well, damn it, this is terrible, dude.
This is great. We're having a battle of who's in charge.
Joel, you're in charge. I give up.
Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, I think you already know, but just in case you don't, we're doing Game of the Year stuff, and we're doing Anime of the Year stuff. And then that's it. And we have categories, and we'll go through them. And it's literally going to be like the Pokemon thing, except this will be better.
This is it. We'll do this
will be more in
year.
depth. You're going to hear from some of our friends and some of our fans of the podcast, and so they'll have some of their hot, spicy takes. And if you guys if you hear this and you're like, "What the fuck? I wasn't invited," dude, reach out. We would love you to be on some parts of this podcast here and there. If you ever have any questions or desires, you let us know in them DMs, baby!
And jump on with us, yeah. We'll have fun.
Also rate us 5 stars, baby.
And if you don't rate us 5 stars, you're never going to join us on here.
Yeah, you need to screenshot it.
You're dead to us.
Just kidding. But yeah, okay, so without further ado.
Yes, games. We're starting with games.
We're going to do games.
And I have, let me just read the categories off, okay? And we'll go in this order too.
Okay, you're going to go from bottom to top?
Yep.
Okay.
Best game from a different year, which is self-explanatory. Best video game soundtrack, worst character, best character, worst game, best game.
Yes.
Cool. So without further ado, we're going to start with best game from a different year. Yeah. I know what yours is, obviously.
No, I don't think you do. It's Sonic Frontiers.
Sonic Frontiers, which came out this year? Okay. or 2022, sorry.
Yeah. No, the demake.
Do you want me to lead on this one?
Why don't you lead?
So the best game I played from a different year this year was Shin Megami Tensei 5, which was also on my top last year for one of my favorite games. I just actually fully played more of I feel like I experienced a deeper aspect of it this year and just had the time of my life in my 90-hour playthrough.
Had the time of my life.
But I also just absolutely adore SMT games, and 5
SMT?
is Shin Megami Tensei. That's
DMT, baby. Joe Rogan!
So I really felt like I got to explore it a little deeper than I ever thought it had, and I had an amazing time with it, and it was a fantastic 90 hours.
It is a game do you have a physical?
No, I don't.
Fuck. I do see that game on sale sometimes, and I'm like, should I get that? Should I get that? And I want to, because I enjoy Persona games, and I know it's the same people, so I know it's different, but I also know that it's in the same vein.
Starkly different.
Starkly means very different.
Drastically
different. I know English,
and I will only say that because you don't have
one's the end of the world, and one's high schoolers.
You don't have team members in Shin Megami Tensei.
What?
You don't have another team. You have demons you've recruited, and that's
demons.
You have one player, which is the main character, and then your team that you have is not other humans. It's other demons that you're recruiting and combining to. There is no party that you discuss with. 9 times out of 10, it's just dialogue is pretty quick, and you're back into the meat of the game.
Okay, so I might like it more, because I'll be real. I love Persona. I like Persona 3 out of all of them. I've played Persona 5. Did that come out this year?
5 came out in 2015.
Persona 5 came out in 2015.
And then it came out, or maybe it was 2017. One of the two. I think it was 2017.
Holy
2017.
shit.
Because it was out on PS3 and PS4.
Wow.
And then it got ported over to PC in 2021 or 2020. Persona 5 Royal.
No, I think it came out this year.
Royal?
Yeah.
No, Royal didn't come out this year.
Are you sure about
Yeah,
that?
I can pull up Royal's release date.
That's fine. I just played it this
Persona 5 Royal came out
year.
this
It was on
year.
Xbox. It was on Xbox Game Pass this year.
It
So
came
I was
out.
able to play it.
Yeah, it came out on Xbox. I think 5 Royal release date.
5 Royal release date. Everybody. This
Yeah,
is cool.
so 5 released Persona 5 Royal released in 2019 originally.
Okay.
And then on other consoles, I'm not sure, that might have been later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Whatever.
like Switch was this year.
Yes.
So
Yes. So yeah. So I think if Switch was this year, then I think PC was this year too.
Probably.
Because Xbox Game Pass was like, hey, it's here, and I'm like, ooh, I
Yeah.
could play it for free. So
which is kind
quote
of
unquote.
which, dude, like to get that game for free,
Dude, it's
100
fantastic.
like 100-hour RPG. You didn't beat it though, right?
I haven't fully beat it. I feel like I've beaten like 3 or 4 bosses, so I don't know. I feel like I'm getting close.
Well, there's okay, quick spoilers for Persona.
Well, no, we don't need to get into it.
This is not okay. You don't want to do it?
No, I don't want to
Okay,
get
we won't do
spoilers.
it,
But who cares?
I would say you're probably around halfway, if
Yeah.
not a little less than halfway.
Cool.
That's how long that game is.
I believe
That
it.
game, like,
Although I will say the PC kind of, I don't know if this is Royal, but they have like a summoning thing where you can summon monsters that are a little bit / a lot of bit higher than your normal.
Yeah.
Like in like the, like, I don't know, in like the blue room.
Yeah, in
So
the
I
Velvet
have
Room.
like a level 90 something that just fucking tanks everything.
I don't know how you got that. That sounds like a DLC right there, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
'Cause
Like I don't.
Standard wise, the demon level cap is your level plus any kind of small bonuses you have from the relationship.
That is
link,
exactly what I'm saying. So I'm choosing
So-
the game a little bit, but guess what? It's fun to do that.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to buy Persona 3.
But yeah, so SMT is a lot different. It's style wise,
Yeah.
it feels like even Persona. Persona feels like an SMT game. 'Cause
Are there any crossover like monsters or demons or whatever?
they're all the same demons. Jack Frost.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them. I mean, there's new ones.
Then it's like fuck it, but it.
Well, no, it's a universe. Like it's
Oh.
the Shin Megami Tensei monsters, Jack Frost, all the weird gods. Isis is a god, Anubis, Ra, Set, Tartarus, all these Messiahs.
Tartar
back.
sauce?
Messiah's a monster again, or a demon again. Like they're all there. I think some of them go through redesigns, but it's fantastic.
That's cool.
I love Jack Frost.
Jack Frost is pretty cool.
Anyways, that's mine. Mine was
What's yours?
SMT5. What's yours?
That's shit.
Yeah.
No, I really want to play it. I am going with Need for Speed Most Wanted.
I
No,
find
I'm
that
just
so weird that you didn't say Omori.
No, it's Omori.
Okay, I was like, you just said this is your favorite game of
It's
all
for
time.
sure Omori. I played that game this year, and then found out it's been out for a while, and that the community's been trying to back it for a very long time and all that kind of stuff. And I love the story. Again, it's one of the only games I've ever played that has made me weep openly. Like I've like teared up and lightly cried here and there during like Undertale, and I'm sure there's tons of other games too. But Omori really, really wrecked me in like good and bad ways. Like again, I think it's like if you're not in a fully good state, then it's probably not the best mentally. Then it's probably not the best game to play. But there's also a lot of hope and redemption in that game as well, and a lot of cute and fun. Like the world itself is amazing, and then the fact that there is such a deep story, and the fact that a game made me feel like I was living trauma that I've never experienced. I don't know how it. I hope I can create video games or stories that have that kind of depth to people.
Yeah,
So,
or experience it again.
Yeah,
but that's almost like almost like a flash in the pan moment. Like that's not going to happen again. It's like that was something I experienced that time, and it's going to be very hard for a game to do it again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
agree. Yeah, and I even think replaying it, so there's not going to hit as hard. It's much like.
Yeah.
And there's multiple things you can do, right? Like I'm even playing through it again, just very lightly. But it's not those things you're like, okay, I know what to look for. And so now it's more so about exploring the fun part of the game, which is the world, right?
Yeah, the headspace. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or the white space.
The white space. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I knew it was going to be a Mori. I knew you were
for
gonna,
sure. We talked about it.
I played it too. I had a great time with it.
Yeah. It's good. It's very good.
Did you have runner-ups? I had some runner-ups for this category. I mean, we'll share some runner-ups
like the bit like
but because for me it's always like, well, I could put Bloodborne on there, I could put Sekiro on there, I could put Chrono Trigger on there, I could put
Yeah.
I could put Mass Effect. I could put anything on
That
there.
you
but
played to, I guess, because it's like games from different years that we've played.
What's your game
this
of the year that's not from this year?
Yeah. I mean, Sekiro for sure could be runner up. I played a little bit more of that. I know you fucking for sure did this year.
I did. I did a platinum run of it. So.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, that's my
I
personal.
found fun
Don't take
mods,
that.
and then I played for a while, and then I was like, I need to not play this game right now.
Yeah.
And play it more seriously again in the future, because it's
Amore could be such a slam dunk for you that there wasn't a runner up.
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, I don't think that there. I mean, there's a handful of random games that aren't like fully, like I haven't fully finished them, but like I am playing a game called End Roll right now. That's very good. It's again an RPG maker, like kind of cult classic or whatever in that genre. That's like cute but like horror on the bottom. It's a little bit more I would say a little bit more hardcore than Omari in the sense of you're an actual, like, the whole thing is like you were a killer before and you're a kid, you're a 14-year-old kid, and you've murdered multiple people, and you're in a dream state where the government is like testing this dream state on you, and it's supposed to build empathy, guilt, and compassion in convicts who are on death row. That's
okay.
It's very interesting, very cool world building stuff. And there's like, I have like 10 other games that are a little bit like that I've played little bits of, and I'm like, no, I need to give it like actual attention. I can't just like jump in, jump out. But yeah, Omari for sure is the number one. And I mean, Modern Warfare 2, that came out this year. I guess that's this year though.
That's a 2022
fucking
game.
idiot. There you go. That's
that's not gonna work. Okay, let's move on to the next category.
Next.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Best video game soundtrack.
Best video game soundtrack.
Now, do you have one of those?
Oh yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. What's yours, bitch? You just did it today.
Do you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, you're going first.
I'll go first. Yeah, I'll be totally honest. I put Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on this list for this one.
Oh,
and
that is a runner-up of mine.
A big part of that is because Toby Fox of Undertale fame worked on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it shows. So
it is really good.
I mean, if you're on TikTok at all and you've seen this challenge right now where people are making their own gym, like the way they would do it.
Yeah.
The song they put behind every one of those is like called the Area Zero theme, and it's one of the most insane bangers I've heard from a game in a long time. And it might be because it came out of Pokemon. I'm like really shocked by it,
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of like, whoa, there's actually good music again, because I feel like the old ones had pretty good.
No,
music.
the old ones were iconic too. Like I don't know if there was they were more as I don't know if there was as emotional or much more emotional as Hey Go Fight.
Yeah.
Like that's all they ever
were
for those old soundtracks, or they were like route themes of traveling.
Yeah.
These ones actually had dynamics though.
Yeah.
Bum bum. Okay, we're done. So, the actual dynamics of the Scarlet and Violet soundtrack, I don't think it's enough praise, to be honest.
No, it doesn't. And I've heard like people go, "What is up with these crazy guitars and stuff?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "This is
awesome.
epic as shit!" Like, it's been such a long time since Pokemon has had that,
and it feels new for like that series to take that direct. I think this is the first time they've had Toby Fox work on it. So, and like he's a fantastic composer.
So much love, for him.
Yeah.
For sure, that would be a runner-up for me.
Yeah,
like hands down.
Do you want my runner-up now or after you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, because my runner-up was God of War, and that's kind of a
Ragnarok.
Yeah, because Bear McCreary did
Fraggle Rock. God of War, Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock. Yeah. Bear McCreary did the soundtrack. McCreary.
Who?
Bear McCreary.
Bear
McCreary.
McCreary.
Yeah. What did he just do that came?
MacGruber. Did he just do?
He's a pretty prolific composer.
Oh, my bad.
Bear McCreary. I think I might have mispronounced it earlier, and I apologize if it was bad, but whatever. Bear
going in jail.
McCreary. What else did he do? He did.
Let us know.
Godzilla. He did Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay. So shit. Okay.
There's some bad stuff on his profile for sure, but he also.
And that's what he's best known for is what you just read.
He did do Rings of Power.
Huh?
He did Rings of Power.
That was okay.
Which is about as good as you can do without touching on the old stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he's not a bad composer. That's not like Hans Zimmer level of whatever. But
he did all of Walking Dead. He's not. No.
Then some people for sure love it. I hear people love that.
Yeah, he's not.
Soundtrack. So.
He's not that level, But he is still, in my opinion, very talented and does very good work. And so he did God of War.
I can't do what he does, so he's more talented than me.
And God of War Ragnarok has a banger of a soundtrack. So that's my runner-up. That's all I have to say.
I wish I knew the Fraggle Rock song because I would try to sing it right
now.
Bum,
bum, bum, bum, bum, bum. There it is.
That's not it.
That's it.
Welcome to Fraggle Rock.
What's that?
Fraggle Rock is from the fucking Muppets.
Oh, I don't know what that is, dude.
It's Sesame Street or something.
I was doing Ragnarok.
Oh. Lame. No. Yeah, so my soundtrack of the year, this is actually, it might be surprising. And I don't know if this counts. I don't know if this, you have to let me know if this counts.
Licensed music is fine, because it's still the game that put it all together. And I know that you're going to put Need for Speed.
I am because I recorded, I don't know if I kept all of it. I have to double check. I recorded me playing probably the first 10 hours of that game. And I'd say I was scrolling through some of that because sometimes I'm like, I'm going to totally put a video together. And then I'm like, this is too much work and no one's going to give a shit. I'm not going to do that. But I was going like this is all the time. I was dancing almost in every video. And especially when you win, they do this thing where you cross the finish line and they do this bump up of the music and you're just standing there like, fuck yeah, I just won. And every single time I was just it just hyped me up so much more. And then driving with the music too, they just did such good songs, and they were honestly most of the songs I'd never heard before. Now that is me getting older, and not paying attention to all music. So, but sure. I loved it. I felt like it was perfect. Again, that game was very good.
Better than we all thought it'd be. To
Dude,
be honest.
It is easily the best Need for Speed game, but after Need for Speed Most Wanted, because it literally feels like Most Wanted. It feels like a kind of updated version of that.
It's fair to say it's the best one released in the last decade.
Easy.
Okay.
Easy. But yeah, so that would be that. And then I do have Pokemon as a runner-up for sure, and Elden Ring. I liked it. I know that not everyone loved it, and I do feel like it wasn't as maybe epic as because I do feel like sometimes Dark Souls 1 and even 2 have some pretty iconic music, tones.
I mean, Majula's soundtrack is very iconic. I feel like when you're in Majula for Dark Souls 2.
Totally.
Dark Souls 1, I just feel like I know it because it was the first one.
Because we played it all.
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Bum 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 bum. Yeah. I mean, Dark Souls 1 soundtrack is iconic. I think, but Elden Ring's, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a good soundtrack, but maybe part of me is just I understand how they make music now for their games. And so it's not as surprising as I think it used to be. And
what do you mean how they make music for their games?
How they design their soundtracks for their game, how they design the action pieces.
What do you mean?
Their style, their musical style in the boss fight soundtracks. Okay, which is where most of the soundtracks are in the games, the boss fights. They don't do very. It's the Elden Ring boss fight soundtracks aren't that totally different from the Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 ones.
Totally.
The bombastic, big orchestra, a lot of horns, a lot of violins, a lot of drums, all that stuff. It's good stuff. That's
you want someone to just be acapella.
And really quickly, let me just say that was a super reductionistic way of saying that, and it's not meant to insult Elden Ring's soundtrack at all. My apologies. The only thing I want to say is that I am used to that kind of soundtrack for their games, so maybe that's why it didn't wow me as much.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know if it wowed me, but I enjoyed it. It felt very much like the world. Again, and maybe this is even kind of to the point that you're saying. I felt like I was in a Dark Souls world because the music was very similar, but it was also different enough to where I wasn't like, hey, that's literally a ripoff of blank.
Yeah.
Now maybe there is, because I'll be real, I forget that shit all the time. So
yeah, okay. No, I get behind that. Yeah. It's certainly a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my personal favorite.
Yeah. Cool. I hear you.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah, baby.
That was an easy category.
Was it?
Those first two I think were easy.
The easiest?
I mean, we're not really debating, so it's not hard for us. But also,
hey, you're wrong on
your
every
opinion's
level.
Ass. And this next one, I'm a little fiery on.
What is it?
Worst video game character.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Is it? Hold on. Are yours gonna be from Elden Ring?
No. I have a character that came out this year in a game that came out 2 months ago.
Oh.
That actively pissed me off and brought the game down in rank for me.
Let's see. Okay, I know what it is.
Yeah, it's Anger Bosa from God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
She is it and part of that, and maybe it's not all the character's fault, but it comes to she gets introduced at this time when the game like slows to a crawl and you start playing as a different character in the game, and you just do stupid dumbass stuff like you're picking fruit from a tree or you're gathering roots from a tree
Sounds very God
to
of War
go
like.
feed animals, and then there's a ton of dialogue and then you ride a donkey or you ride an animal through the water, and it's this 2.5 hour I say 2 hour, it's probably not that long,
Well,
but
I liked the
it
animal part.
no, you don't. It felt like it was like 3 or 4 hours long. It wasn't, but that's how boring it was. And it's capped off by this horribly put together emotional moment where you fight her grandma, I think.
That's my
But
grandma.
you're fighting her
Make a grandma.
and her cauldron, and you're really just trying to break her cauldron.
Is she a witch?
She's a witch, yeah.
Shocker. All grandmas are
and
witches.
It's a horrible boss fight. It's not interesting. It's very stale. It's emotionally still like really weird. What's the word? Stilted or jilted? What's the word? That's like
Quilted.
quilted. It's like it doesn't feel well put together because this is like, hey, this is your family member. You kind of love this person, and now you're like they're kind of doing weird stuff and bad stuff now, and you want to stop them. You know,
Trying to like kiss you.
and so you stop her. And no,
Hey, you know,
without saying, you know,
spoilers.
It's you're deviating when I'm trying to finish a point.
Sorry.
So I'm trying to finish a point.
Finish the point.
There's like a heartbreak from her, and then you never hear about that point again. It's never brought up. There's no resolution to it. You never see the lady again. It has zero. The whole thing has 0 point to the story beyond the one moment in it where you do something that's towards the end of the game, but it's not related to this at all. It's just something that's there. So the segment, and she's boring too. Like she's like a Mary Sue in a lot of ways. Like she doesn't make mistakes. She's like the best morality, or has the best morality. She's always telling Atreus that what he's doing wrong and teaching him. She doesn't grow at all, really. She's just kind of a Mary Sue. And I don't know what it is with people. This game had 2 Mary Sues in it, and both characters suffer because the writers decided to sideline them super hard and force them into plot points without giving them proper weight behind like their characters.
Yeah.
And you're like, great, I don't care about these 2 characters.
Great.
Angerbos is by far the worst
them.
one. But they do it more than once. I don't understand why they ignored the female characters like that. It's kind of frustrating, but Angerbosa is the worst character of the year for me. And there's not like the runner-up is from the same game, so
okay. The runner-up is the person you just said.
No, it's Thor's kid. Yeah, Thrud, who sucks too. Like both I don't know. It's such a ham-fisted. They're both such ham-fisted characters. So
yeah.
What do you got?
So mine are very deep. A lot of dialogue. They said it bullshit. No, it's just Elden Ring. It's Godskin Duo, bro.
Those are the worst characters?
They're characters.
They don't really interact or talk with you that much. But you want to use those?
I just got to. I have to. I haven't really.
Look, I think they're absolute trash too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They just are very annoying, and you know what they say to your character at the bonfire. It's just not cool.
What do they say to you?
I'm kidding. I'm just trying to add like that they say stuff.
There's no narrative reason why they suck. Well, kind of. I mean, they don't belong together, but
they don't belong together.
They just suck.
I didn't really play a lot of games with
characters
that are like, you know, like story driven. Yeah,
they came out this last year.
They came out this last year. Yeah,
older ones.
Yeah. So.
No, I would absolutely love to put the Godskin Duo there because they suck ass.
Yeah.
I don't like them at all.
Why not?
I don't like them because they don't make sense in the world, in the lore. Those two shouldn't be together like that.
They do. Have you read their lore?
But they don't belong in Farum Azula.
No, you're right.
That's they don't sure, fine. They belong together. They're usually separated a little more because one's nobility and one's like worshiping. You know.
Right.
But to be in Farum Azula is just like, wait, this is not even remotely like what this place is for. Like, why are they here?
Like, why are they there?
Yeah, and that doesn't make sense.
We have a boss room. What do we do? Put them in there.
Let's put the worst boss in the game here. Okay,
yeah,
let's do that.
Reals.
Let's do that. You know, or the Fell Twins. That's also bad, but easy at least.
Yeah.
I have my spicy Elden Ring takes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that spicy. I think a lot of people are unagreeing.
Yeah,
with you, but
cool.
at least on those two.
Yeah. Worst characters, fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we have too much, but
that, and then every character in Need for Speed Unbound.
Are they all bad? They're probably all bad, huh?
They're kind of all generic-y.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's very generic, you know. But they're not like horrible. Like there was never a time where I'm like, oh my god. I will say this: they did do, even though I feel like he's the best character because you have kind of like a guy that you work under. Again, it's very, very need for. I don't want to ruin the whole story, but it's not really that big of a story. But like he's almost kind of like your dad figure, but he's not your dad. And he like, well, there'll be phone conversations when you're driving to like, he's like, hey, can you go help me with something or whatever? I fucking hate those. So maybe he is on there,
Whatever
even
his
though
name is.
I don't really remember his name. I don't even, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, just like fucking shut the fuck up. Reggie, I don't know what it is.
Reggie.
I just like the name Reggie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would probably be what it is. But he also has one of the better redemptive arcs of it. Like he is very solely needed in the game. Like legitimately. It's kind of the whole game is centered around his spot.
Is it oh wait. That's the cast actually. Oh, my lied, sorry.
That'd be tight.
Here we go,
everyone.
Yaz?
No.
Rydell?
Rydell.
Okay. There's only 4
I
characters.
love Rydell, but I hated whoever wrote his dialogue when he was talking. And Yaz.
They're both bad.
There was no
I mean,
one.
it's EA.
It's EA. What the fuck are we talking about? They're not real written characters.
Yeah.
But God's Gonna Do It for sure takes cake because fuck those guys.
Yep. Next category is best character.
You're gonna love my answer for this one.
It's Rydell from
It's Rydell. No.
For me, I put in so
is it Thor?
No. Because Thor is technically introduced in God of War 2018. Technically. That's up for debate still, but God of War does not have any of my favorite characters this year. The only character I would put in that is Kratos, but Kratos is somewhat of a known quantity, and I feel like it's disingenuous to just choose him.
Kratos my favorite.
What's up?
Kratos my favorite.
Well, especially because most of his foundational like character change and growth is God of War 1 and God of War Ragnarok, or God of War 2018. God of War Ragnarok just kind of pushes him in those healthier and better father directions. Like it's good. Kratos' growth, even in the beginning of Ragnarok to the end of Ragnarok, is still fantastic.
Right.
It's just started in 2018.
Yeah.
So I don't want to pick Kratos. That's my only justification there for that.
Fair enough.
And then beyond that, I just didn't really care for the characters in Ragnarok as much as I cared for them in 2018. There's like a boatload more characters, but also stuff just moves faster and is.
I gotta get it, dude. I want to get it so bad.
But I put Jack from Stranger of Paradise, which is the main character, which is the most generic-looking character in the world. I'll be very clear. And maybe this comes to being a Final Fantasy super fan. What?
He's hot, right?
He's kind of hot, sure. But he's a
got him, everyone.
Okay. Okay, whatever. Seems so terrible and boring at first. A lot of that's because Team Ninja is not a big story hound. Like, they've never been that way. If you've played Ninja Gaiden, if you played Neo, those games really aren't known for their stories. They are weak and not well put together. And Stranger of Paradise is kind of the same way, but
he's not.
But the way that this links up to Final Fantasy 1 and who Jack is, and I guess I'll throw minor spoilers, but Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise, which is the Neo-like Final Fantasy game that came out this year, or 2022.
Yeah.
Your main character, that game is a prequel to Final Fantasy 1. And so
that is very cool.
And it's very cool. And like they actually do
I do want to play it.
They do it way better than I thought they would, even though it's still kind of like awkward and like, because it wasn't written this way, obviously. Like this is written into this. Like, this prequel was written into it before, like, before good design would say, hey, you're right, the prequel has already been written, but you have, So, Jack, and the way that he grows as a character, too. It's fairly satisfying. But minor spoilers, he is the main bad guy of Final Fantasy 1. That's Garland.
Yeah, minor spoilers. The whole fucking hugest spoiler ever.
And then eventually Chaos, right? So, Jack is actually the progenitor of that, and it changes now
you guys don't have to play that game.
Yeah, well,
Just watch it on
still
YouTube.
A very fun game, but it changes the whole perspective of who you thought or how you felt about Chaos in Final Fantasy 1. And I played Final Fantasy 1 this year, so it was nice.
Did you play it after?
No, I beat Final Fantasy 1 in like April or March.
Scrub.
Around then, oh man, easy game, dog.
Easy game.
And then I beat Final Fantasy 4, and then I beat Final Fantasy 8, and then I beat Final Fantasy 7, and then I beat Final Fantasy 9. I played way too much Final Fantasy this year.
Yeah, dude. How are one of those not your like game of the year?
Because I don't think any of them are as good as SMT.
That's fair. There you go.
That's
That's
my
a good
opinion.
reason. That's a good reason.
And people can think differently, and that's totally fair. But in my opinion, I think SMT is leagues above Final Fantasy. So, well, that's it.
Yeah. Damn. Spicy.
So he's my best character. He's my favorite character this year. Sorry.
Yeah. Want to know mine?
Sure.
You're gonna hate it.
Is this a Modern Warfare 2 guy?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's Ghost. No,
Okay.
I don't even know. Is that a Modern Warfare 2 guy?
I don't
Also,
know.
you know what's funny is didn't buy it. Obviously, I don't have the money to just throw around like I used to, or else I probably would have bought it. So I haven't even played the campaign or anything. I've like watched some people play it, and then like the Warzone's free, right? So I could be like, Warzone's my favorite game, but I like haven't really played a lot of that either. Because again, I feel like my community of people who played it are all gone. They don't really play it anymore. So it's like, playing with randos isn't as fun.
Sure.
But yeah, so I don't know, but it's gonna be Torrent.
The horse?
Your horse.
Absolutely.
So it's between Torrent and Ronnie.
Rami is everyone's
Rami.
sexual icon now.
Yeah, and that's why. No, but I like her story. Her story is legitimately.
She's got a good story.
It's a good like. I don't know. That is something I feel like I like about Elden Ring that I'm trying to do more now is complete more NPCs quests because I didn't really do that a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like kind of fun and cool stories in them. You know, I know hers is one of like one of the endings, right? So I
Yeah.
completed hers to get that one of those endings, so I could complete that shit. But I like that. But I feel like Torrent was such a fun character to give you. I mean, like literally, I went everywhere with him. Him, her, it.
I think it's your choice, whatever you want to call
It's
it.
it. Yeah, I just truly thought it was like a very fun way to kind of.
He was your companion, though. He was your constant.
And it wasn't like, here's this fucking horse, right? It was
Yeah.
like, hey, like Torrent has been around for a long time. Like he's wise. He knows a lot of these. Like he kind of knows the place. Like you can have him and yada yada yada. So I just felt like there's a lot more design and kind of work put into a horse or a steed or whatever, a mount, right? Because he's not a horse. He is, but he's not.
He's a mythical beast.
It's a mythical beast.
He's not a horse. He's got like weird horns, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Like it's-
Would you like it if he had some like inner monologue that you could, or like he could talk to you telepathically? How would you feel about that?
You mean like High on Life,
I guess.
which is maybe that should be my worst game of the year. Just fuck that game.
Dude.
I totally forgot about that. I like played like the first few hours of that game and it was garbage. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Torrent. I don't know how I'd feel about that because I there'd be a part of me like that. Maybe it would be cooler to have like some interactions where, like you're petting them or they save you at some point or something in like
Sure.
some dumbass cutscene because they don't do cutscenes in this a lot. So it's very much like you're at a boss. So I don't know. I feel like they did a good amount of just making me enjoy the character. And then again, there'd be times where like he would get hit or die. I'm like, no, my horse.
No,
you
not
know?
Torrent. I don't need to.
Yeah.
That's just flask on him.
Yeah, well, that's more so probably what it is. Like, God damn it, and that's his flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so enjoyable character. And then
Rami.
Yeah, Rami.
She's great.
She's
like
good,
her. And her multiple
enjoyable,
arms and a gigantic hat.
and a gigantic what?
Hat.
Oh, yeah,
Ass.
ass.
She thumps.
Dumps. Everyone dumps.
I said thumps, dog.
Oh, everyone also dumps.
Everyone else dumps though. So
right,
best characters. Okay,
Yeah.
I can get behind it. All right. What about your? Okay, so here's what I want to preface this with.
Yep.
I don't think I played any games that were outright bad this year. I didn't invest any of my time into bad video games in the objective sense, but there were games that I did not like or did not gel with me, and that I actively had a bad time with.
I know
That
what you're gonna say. and
Majority
I'm
of people
so mad right
might have
now.
had a great time with. And I think majority of people did have a great time with this game.
God damn it! I knew
And
it.
And you think I'm going to say Inscription, and I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Oh,
let me be
damn,
clear.
bro.
Inscription
I'm about to
was.
fist fight you.
I don't think Inscription's a bad game, nor do I think I had a necessarily terrible time with it. I just don't think that one just didn't gel with me at all. Like Inscription's just not my game. That's fine.
Yeah.
Tunic is really not my game. I had a miserable time with Tunic.
The Zelda copy?
Whatever it is, yeah, the Zelda Dark Souls thing. I don't think the combat in that is up to snuff. Really, I mean, like it's serviceable, but people telling me it's deep and interesting and complex. I need to stop talking, because it really is just a button masher of a game, or hold your shield up, like it in a more reductionist way of Dark Souls. Shut your
They
mouth.
need to stop talking.
So
Hey, so the one maybe listener of the podcast who's absolutely talked to him this way, fight him later. Just kidding.
hey, I just had a bad
Hey,
time.
1v1 him
again,
on Tunic.
Again, I don't think
Can you do that?
No, you can't. I don't think Tunic's a bad game. I just did not like it at all. Was not my cup of tea.
That's fair.
There are no
people liked
games.
it.
There are no games that I spent, playing that were terrible this year, really. So people
there
like
was
it.
two. I had two horrible experiences with games. I just got reminded of High Life.
Yeah, High on Life. I would put that down for worst game for the podcast. For both of us. I hate that game.
It is. I have watched more because I played. I was like, maybe it gets better, and then like all the stuff. And again, this is what it is. If you love Rick and Morty, you're gonna love that game, I guess.
If you don't like Rick and Morty, though,
but if you're just like Rick and Morty has some fun stuff, but I've never was like on like the hype of it.
I think I've cringed at Rick and Morty more than I've laughed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. And the guns talking to you, I know that there's an option to like turn off or to limit how much your gun talks to you, but I'm like, I'm playing this how you guys intended it.
Yeah.
And you fuck yourselves. Like it's absolutely insane that I don't know. It was horrible. Like I was like, dude, I'm so distracted with like the amount of like my knife yelling at me that he wants to kill, and like, yeah, do it again. Like I'm just like, oh my God. So I don't know. Like it just was not for me. So maybe that goes in the number one category. But what I had before I remembered this, and I want to preface this very much so with the game is awesome in the sense of design, fantastic. I bet you already know what it's going to be now. But
it performs like shit.
It performs like shit?
No,
what do you think I would say?
I thought you were going to say Pokemon.
No, that is on my list too. No,
I would have allowed that to be like it's a verifiable take based on people's experiences.
Yeah.
Or verifiable, validatable.
It's Scorn.
Take, sorry. Oh yeah, well, I mean, like you did not like Scorn at all.
Well, because I was duped, right? In my own mind. So it was me. I'm not saying they or whoever designed the game did anything like that. It was literally all me. I watched like trailers for it, went, whoa, this is gonna be some creepy, weird horror shoot 'em up game. Not that. It's a puzzle game, which I fucking hate. And I will say this: the fact now I could be a complete dumb bitch, okay? And I could be. I am. I feel like sometimes, especially with puzzle stuff. But the fact that I could not figure out, after like the first like 30 minutes to an hour, I don't know, there was a point where I had to watch tutorials to even, and the stuff that they did, I was like, who in the absolute fuck would think to do that? Like without any, there's just no direction, no nothing. You're in this new world. You have no idea what the fuck anything is. Yeah. So it just was not, again, I'm not a puzzle game guy. The game was not made for people like me. If you are a puzzle game person, play it because it looks awesome. The atmosphere is fucking super sick. But
that's what I think is probably the coolest part about that game is the atmosphere,
easy,
and the music,
and the drum.
And
like
the
way that it looks is so cool, and it's so weird and eerie, and I love it. But again, I felt like I was
it's
like,
a weird puzzle
what
game.
the fuck? I put like hours into it, and that's why I was like mad. I was like, I should not have put in. What I should have done was I should have, after the first hour, been like, I'm not like really killing anything. I should look up this game more instead of playing more. That's what I should.
It's only
like
a 5-hour game too. It's like not even a long game.
I made a while. Well, I mean, I did a lot of tutorials. It's literally going, okay, I'd pause that, go do the thing. I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? Play. And then that's how I played for the first hours.
That's a trophy hunter's playthrough, dude. That's what that is.
It sucks. So, yeah. But I will say, honestly, I'd probably put High on Life is worse.
That sounds way worse than Scorn.
It is worse.
I think Scorn has a really big cult following, to be honest.
Yeah.
And High on Life might get that too, just because that's how
Rick. I know for a fact I just pissed off so many people by saying both those games. So.
And I'm not trying to be offensive here. Rick and Morty fans are very dedicated to Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Or very loyal to Rick and Morty, and this is basically a Rick and Morty game. I feel like, but
I get it.
It's just never gelled with me.
Never gelled with me.
But I also don't think it's a particularly adept shooter, to be honest. So
no, it wasn't really. I don't know. Well, could have been
so
a lot funner. Also, a game that's supposed to be crazy, and I can't even just fucking kill NPCs. Fuck off! What are we doing? Like GTA, just follow GTA, Skyrim, like all the. There's so many games where it's like I can do, or what are like Fallout, all that stuff. Like have consequences in your game. Shooting games where you're supposed to go through cities and do stuff, and then I can't do anything but what you want me and your story to do are bullshit.
Absolutely.
They don't even need to be around anymore.
100%.
So to me, not worth it.
Okay,
That's the one.
Let's do it.
That's fucking it. Boom.
Yep. I would get so far behind you as to also say it's mine as well now.
Nice.
Because I don't think Tunic is bad.
High five.
And so, but I don't like High on Life. So cool. All right, let's take it.
We're rounding.
We are now onto our final category for games, and that's best game.
You go first because yours is going to be longer. Or should I go first?
I will
do
go
first this time.
You go first.
Because you have more.
I'll do my whole list of. I have a top 6.
You do.
Of games that I think are amazing.
And then you have to choose one though.
And I have number 1.
Okay.
This is Taylor, friend of the podcast.
Hey, this is Taylor, and I'm going to tell you what my game of the year for 2022 is. I guess you can say it's a little bit of a cheat because this game was released in 2021 in early access, but the official release was this year, so I'm counting it. That game would be Proteus. It is an indie game from developed by Bounding Box Software, Inc., and published by Humble Games. Proteus is a first-person shooter. In the reimagined, so it's kind of like a mix of like 3D visuals and retro pixel art and modern effects and retro, so it's kind of like a mix of both. Very heavily inspired by Doom and Quake and things of like that era of like the high-speed 90s arena shooters. Very gory. It's got community crafted area levels. You can do maps, whole campaigns people make. There's multiplayer, which I haven't really touched yet. It's got a heavy metal soundtrack. It's really solid. The maps are cool. The levels are really well designed. The guns feel good to use. It's overall just a very, very fun game. And I highly recommend it. It is on Game Pass, so if you want to play it for free, awesome. If not, it's $25. And you can get it on Steam and I believe console as well. So that would be it. And if it wasn't that, I guess my runner-up or really close second would be Metal Hellsinger, which is also another indie game that came out September 15th of 2022. That is a rhythm shooter. So this is more in the vein of Doom. It is more modern visuals, but you go through each stage, and there's kind of a metronome beat going, and you shoot and reload and dash and kill to the beat of the music. And as your multiplier goes up higher and higher and higher, it adds more instruments into it. So it kind of starts low, and then you adds more and more and more until you get the full soundtrack and the vocals and everything else. Really heavy metal, really fun to play. I 100%ed that one. Got a all 1,000 gamer score. I really enjoy it. And I guess that would be my big game of the years for 2022. Overall, it probably would have been maybe Elden Ring, but I didn't get around to that. Unfortunately, I did pick it up, but I appreciate it. Later.
I will do that. I have less games, obviously, of that. So I'll do runner-ups and then I'll do the main. So, Ghost Song is a indie kind of Metroidvania game that's like sci-fi. You're kind of like waking up and you don't know if you're like a robot or a person.
Pixelated?
Somewhat. Like the style is super cool. I don't know what do you mean, like pixelated?
Is it pixel art? Is it more like a pixel art game?
Isn't every art pixel art?
I think you know what I mean.
Technically.
Like is it more like 16 or 32-bit or something like that?
No.
Okay.
No. It's not a pixel game like that. No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up, dude. Yeah, because you're tripping me out, bro. I think of pixel games as like RPG Maker shit, or just like stuff like that, where it's like this is legit pixeled. You see it, and that's art. They have a lot of art.
No, that looks way more hand drawn.
Yeah, it's like hand drawn. It's like super nice.
Black lines. It's not.
It's fantastic.
It looks more like it's rendered as art. Like not. That's a weird sentence I just said. It looks more like it's rendered as like a sketch from a painting or a sketchbook, and then colored it in.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty detailed looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I like it. I think it's very fun. A lot of cool character design. And then it's kind of a fun thing where, well, I actually don't really want to spoil any of it. So I liked it because of the story. I liked it because of.
Did you finish it?
I'm almost done.
Okay.
So so I didn't fully finish it yet.
Yeah.
But I got shit to do in my life. But that one was good. I liked it a lot. You should play it. It's on free for you, free getting quotations on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have that, you can play it. I
don't have that.
Yeah.
Hey.
That would be that.
Is that you only had 2 total?
No, I had 3.
3. Okay.
So and then it's gonna be Need for Speed Unbound.
Something took the cake.
Because this is something else took the cake.
Elden Ring.
Yeah. Elden Ring's number 1 for sure. But Need for Speed Unbound because again, best driving game I've played in a really long time. I'd like Forza. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Forza.
I enjoyed that because of the community. I kind of got into it. I bought it for like $10. Like I want to say the beginning, like January or February, like Forza 4, because the new one just came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know the community like built so much. Like there's like tons of like skin wraps that are custom, like people just did, and you can like use them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool if you're like into racing games. Those are like really fun. But I just love Need for Speed Most Wanted so much. It has such a huge place in my heart. And Need for Speed Unbound like just captured everything perfectly. The fact that I was not always winning races was very fun. Like I really never felt like I'm bored. I'm like always in first by like 2 to 3 like seconds or minutes or whatever. Like
Mario Kart.
Yeah. So it was fun. It's cool. And then Elden Ring takes the cake, baby, because truly I have put so much time into it, and so it would be crazy to stop. And I'm playing it again right now. Like it is a game. I did this with Dark Souls 3, which I tried to play today, or not today, yesterday, and I was like, I just want to play Elden Ring.
Okay. Cool.
So Dark Souls 3 for sure is not better than Elden Ring. For me. Anymore. It used to be. It used to be my favorite.
Yeah. Do you think Elden Ring is your favorite now?
Elden Ring is for sure my favorite. Sekiro is my favorite, and then it would be Sekiro, Elden Ring, and then probably Bloodborne. Even though I haven't fully beaten it because I didn't, I guess, beat the last boss. But I like that world too. It's very fun. I'm just not as good as it with it because the pairing systems.
Well, you just haven't invested time as much as I have.
Invested time. As soon as if that comes out on PC, dude, in it.
I can't wait. If they do that, I want to see mod support too, like crazy.
Dude, I know. Can you imagine? No. Well, this is something crazy. And this is off topic a little bit, but Elden Ring already has a mod where they make tons of stuff differently, and like they put new weapons and all this stuff in there, and people are making art for it, and I'm like, what am I doing? I need to do that shit.
Oh, dude,
too.
There's already insane things. I would just play Elden Ring with a randomizer all the time.
Well, I do that, and it is very fun. But it can also get very exhausting because you're like you make a character play for a while, and then kind of are like, well, I'm kind of stuck here to some degree.
Well, I mean, keep key items the same because you can do that with the Elden Ring randomizer.
That is true. Like, there are times
change,
where I'm like, where the fuck is this thing? The first time I did it, I had everything random, and then I realized when I was trying to go up the ladder or whatever the ascension thing, I was like, oh, this isn't where it should be, and I was like, I will never find this.
Yeah.
Like I could scour everywhere. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun if you like want to do that, but it also can break the game because it could put above you and you can't get there, and then you're fucked.
But like finding mining materials would be hard.
That too.
You know what I mean?
I think that's there because it's out of the ground.
That doesn't do. It doesn't
I don't
do a random
think.
thing.
I'd have to check.
It's the same when you pick it up too. Okay.
I have to check.
Cool. That'd be good. That'd be smart.
But yeah,
that's you. Okay. Cool.
Very fun. Very cool.
Hey, all right. I will start with mine then.
Let's do it, baby.
All 6 of these games are
shit.
Are fantastic games that I can mostly recommend with very few caveats.
Mostly.
Yeah.
On the top 6, but mostly.
Number 6 I have at God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
Which I
know why. That's fair.
I think I explained some of my dissatisfaction with it. Again, amazing, fantastic game, awesome story. There's that weird segment with Inger Bosa that lasts way too long. And I think the ending is a little rushed in some ways that I'm not a fan of. But yeah, otherwise fantastic game. I God of War Ragnarok is the culmination of Kratos. Like that's a weird thing to say, but like I feel like we've been building up to Kratos since God of War 1 to be this guy, to find redemption, to like learn to be a better person, to
stop having 3 ways.
Stop banging every
Wasn't that the first game?
Greek goddess.
I
he
feel like I
finds.
remember my parents being like, "You can absolutely not play that game."
Yeah, because after you finish the whole pirate ship bit, you start off like when you landed in Athens. I think.
I remember going back, and it's
You just-
nothing. You just click buttons, right? And you're like,
it
doing,
all
like,
happens off screen.
Yeah, it's all off screen. And so I'm like, okay, like.
But I think their boobs are hanging out. So, but it's also PS2 boobs at this point. So
PS2 or 1?
PS2.
2.
2004 or 2?
Noise.
Maybe, I don't know. 2001.
That's a nice square booby.
But like it feels like we've seen this great progression of character from God of War 1 to Ragnarok. So it's wholly satisfying. I can't wait to see where it goes next. And I like that game a lot. Number 5 I have at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Boo. Actually, that's
that
on me.
is-
That's on me too.
That is my caveat. Is Pokemon
5.
Scarlet and Violet, and so is Arceus probably. But
Arceus.
Scarlet and Violet.
Holy fuck! I forgot about Arceus.
We'll get to that. Don't worry. He's on my list too. Scarlet and Violet were great. They are unfortunately marred completely by technical issues, and that is if that is a massively important thing to you, like performance and frame rate and all that, then don't play it. Like that's the recommendation there. If you are not like if frame rate and that kind of stuff isn't like your biggest hiccup for games, then you probably could go try it out. Just watch a video online and make sure you know what you're getting into. It outside of that one issue, I think the game is fantastic. It's tons of fun, a lot of variety, huge team composition variety, a lot of freedom for the first time ever.
You're right. I love that.
Yeah, cool open world soundtrack. Cool soundtrack.
No Pokemon game should ever be different than what they did. They just need to do it better.
Kind of a one-note open world though. There's no point to this open world other than being a home for the Pokemon. So like if you're expecting puzzles or like reasons to explore more, it all comes back to the Pokemon. Like that's the point of the open world is just to be
the point of the fucking game called Pokemon.
Right, but if there's an open world, usually there's like every other open world game you've played has multiple facets to it.
No,
every other open world.
Name one.
God of
Ring
War
didn't.
It has a huge combat section that you can go and find clear combat camps. You can go and find artifacts. You can do puzzles.
That's true.
That's just one. Red Dead Redemption 2. What can
Yeah.
you do in that world? It's got a lot of. You can do anything in the world. Grand Theft Auto 4. Assassin's Creed. Even like a lot of these
but
worlds.
this is a baby game for babies, which we are all because we love them,
Well,
and it's just about capturing a little monster.
So hold on. Whether it is or not is not my point or issue. All I am saying is the world is somewhat one note in its delivery. It just wants you to use that world to go catch Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I think it could have done is a little more than that.
I think. Well, it has. Hey, bitch, you're wrong. It has that because of the legendary Pokemon. You have to go around and collect some stupid ass stakes off the ground. You
There's
fucking
8 stakes in the ground,
assholes.
and then what does it lead to?
A tunnel.
More Pokemon to catch.
Okay, but that's the whole point.
Yes, but what I am saying is it's one note
Isn't
delivery.
everything so like Lord? So let's do Elden Ring. You're going and exploring and killing and looting and doing all those things for what? One thing: to get better equipment to beat the next boss,
or souls to level up, or souls to buy new spells,
exactly to
or new
increase
equipment.
yourself. That's all the same.
To
That's
get
all
stronger,
the same category.
sure. To get stronger is like a general thing as a character. I'm not talking about getting stronger. I'm talking about the things you can do in the world. In Pokemon, you don't really like. There's no real incentive to exploring.
Yeah, except
there are Pokeballs here and there.
Yeah,
right. But that's not really a reward in the same way that I found a new. That's where Beedrill spawns. Oh, that's where Spiritomb spawns. It's all about delivering you more Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my argument. I don't think.
I think you're wrong still, but that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Even if I'm wrong, I'm wrong by technicality. I think because really 99% of that game is just going to catch Pokemon and raising them.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is they've never been anything but that ever.
Yeah, and I don't think they need to be anything other than that. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm not saying it's bad. What I am saying is the open world has only one real purpose to it. That's all I'm saying, and they can probably do more in the future. It's not bad. It's just
we're on the same page.
I think there might be a little, and at the risk of sounding a little too like
you're way past that.
Pokemon is the game that I want to be, or is it the game that that they're giving to me that I'm accurately addressing, right? Or am I trying to make it the game that I want it to be, which wouldn't be fair, right?
Dude, you're gonna get that in Power Worlds, dude. Just fucking wait.
So I think it feels like the world's a little underutilized, is the word I would say.
Yeah, it also looks like shit.
It also looks kind of rough. So we can get off Scarlet and Violet though. I enjoyed
fuck you,
it though.
Scarlet Violet.
Right above it at number 4 is Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yo, gang, guess what? I'm actually gonna switch up my stuff. Arceus is gonna go in between Elden Ring and
Need for Speed.
Need for Speed because because I totally forgot that this was because it was in the beginning, right? Like January, February.
Oh, it was January or February? I think it
So-
was January.
Like I totally forgot that it was this year, not last year. But I loved Arceus. I loved Arceus way more than Scarlet
Ton
and
of fun.
Violet. And yeah, it was unique, weird, had some things that didn't work a ton, but it was fun that they tried. And I feel like they could perfect some of that if they ever wanted to again. I'll be real, I don't think they're gonna ever make a game like Arceus probably ever again. But that's okay.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's the bummer. Like, will there be a Legends Celebi? Will there be a Legends Mewtwo or a Legends?
Dude, Legends Mewtwo.
Legends Rayquaza, right? Like that's what they should do because Rayquaza is such a popular Pokemon. They should do a Legends Rayquaza. How sick would that be? An origin story for Ruby and Sapphire, the Sinnoh region.
That would be sick.
That'd be tight.
I would be all about it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'd be all about that.
If they would learn how to program games better.
Yeah, agreed. But anyway, sorry, you talk about
everything you said with like the shakeup of the formula, the huge emphasis on catching and not having to enter a battle screen. You know, the freedom to kind of explore these 5 zones. I guess they're kind of open worldy.
It's open world-ish.
I don't know.
It's like it is, but it's very weird that it's like it is a section. It's not. There's loading screens, right? That's just. So that's not technically, I guess, open world, right? But
yeah. So whatever all that means, right? Like it's plus the fighting system shakeup of like strong or weak moves,
which is very interesting and kind of cool.
Fast moves.
It's strong or fat or quick or
agile
whatever.
or whatever it is, right?
So again, hitting first or hitting harder.
And like that's a cool shakeup, I think.
Yeah.
The weird mechanics where you're doing dodge rolls around boss moves.
I liked it.
Which was interesting to see.
And you're like throwing, you're like, pop, pop, pop. It reminds me of the oh my God, what's the show? Eric Andre's show where, because you know how you're throwing like little things at
Pokeballs the satchels of.
It's the satchels. It's like dust or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So when there's a scene where Hannibal is in the background and he's like, talking to some guy who's in like Mortal Kombat or something, and he's like, "That's a stupid fatality. What I would do is I would just throw apples at him. I go fop, 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 and he just keeps going." And I always had that sound effect when I was throwing them at the Pokemon. Every time it was just that sound effect.
Eric Andre's the funniest dude.
But yeah. Anyway, I like that part.
Super fun game. Yeah, I love that game too. I had a great time with it. By far, number 1. It was not by far, but it was a very enjoyable. Like Violet and Scarlet and Arceus, I had a hard time trying to figure out which was ahead of which. And I know that's insane to you, but that's just
absolutely insane. But it's okay.
But that's just how
the detail,
a little bit,
fucking detail, and Arceus is so crazy. Like the Pokeballs look so cool.
Sure,
they did such a good job.
Yeah,
the Pokemon, the art style.
It's fine.
There's fucking trees on hills.
It's awesome.
It's
honestly.
crazy.
That's actually weird. It feels like the world of the Legends Arceus is way more detailed and interesting.
Way more fucking detailed. It's insane.
Which I was like, was this the same?
Literally,
game?
people who made the world of Scarlet and Violet, like those people, pay them less. Like for sure. Like I don't know, or fire them. Maybe don't fire them. I don't want their lives to be ruined. Just like, I don't know, punish them somehow because what the fuck, dude?
They're probably very lonely.
How do you go back? How do you go so far back? Like you had a great game. You could have just copied and pasted it like what Zelda 2 is going to do. So you could have just copy pasted, gone
Breath
boom.
of the Wild too.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like it would have been simple to even take your own assets that you made and then just went like, you know, do some generator or something. Again, I don't know. Probably harder, but
I understand that. But I'll keep moving forward though.
No, I'll stay here. So Arceus.
My number 3 was Elden Ring. All the reasons why you put number 1. I think I probably agree with. The only thing I disagree, I don't think disagree is I think the issue I have is still that these repeat boss fights just don't do it for me. The final boss fight really doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck the Elden Beast.
Yeah,
piece of shit ass boss.
And I think that's just like. It's kind of sad to have to deal with like so many clone bosses, reused assets, because the game is exceptionally massive and it's kind of inevitable to some degree,
Yeah.
At the same time,
And they kind of have done that over time.
this
This was the
more,
most. But this is because this
Like,
has the most content.
it's like, okay, I'm gonna go fight. What's the Godskin apostle? Not the
The
Godskin
beaver.
noble, the fat guy, right?
Godskin Beaver.
The Godskin noble. Okay, he's a boss fight in the fire in the volcano, right? Okay, cool, whatever. I didn't like the fight the first time. I was like, this guy's kind of cheap, He doesn't seem like he's well balanced. He's kind of annoying.
Yep.
His roll attack, I have no idea how to get around the roll attack still. Besides, I actually really don't know how to get around the roll attack too much unless I get caught in an obstacle. You can't block it. He hits you like 14 times and your stamina just gets shredded, dude.
Have more stamina, bitch.
Okay. So, and then you fight him in like the duo, and you're like, "What the hell is this? This is so much worse." And you're like,
way worse.
"No, there's two of them." And then you fight him on the bridge to the tower in Liurnia, and you're like, "Why the hell is there a guy up here?" And it's the third time. It's still terrible.
Yeah.
So
I will say this because I hate the Godskin duo, but the fact that they reused them, they didn't really, because they only reused them in the Godskin duo, because isn't it like the tall skinny one in that one spot, and it's the big fat one in the other spot, and then it's both of them.
There's a big fat one on the bridge to the Liurnia
Oh,
tower.
there is?
Yeah.
And there's, okay. Well,
right when you turn the inverted tower, and then you go through the tower, and then you come out in the top, that bridge between the two, there's a Godskin noble up there. And it's super dumb.
Okay.
Because there's also the Godskin noble boss fight in the volcano. Those two are singular fights.
Got it. Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And
shit.
And then, but again, like the Fell Twins, right? Like I mentioned earlier, like these are normal enemies in the underground area.
Yeah.
And you're probably gonna deal with them as normal enemies in the underground area before you get to the spot to do that.
Yeah.
To fight the Fell Twins, or maybe not. Who knows? But they're like within the same area, and then you fight this double boss. It's like just these two dudes. And you're like, these are normal enemies, and they stagger like the normal enemies. So I'm gonna cheese this because it's easy,
Gotta
like,
cheese it, baby.
And then like that problem persists everywhere. Like fighting the assassin, the Black Knife assassin.
I fucking hate those guys.
Like 4 times. There's an invisible one. Like,
the invisible one is the most bullshit thing.
Yeah.
If you're wanting that one ending, I can't. Or were you trying to get to? You have to do that to get to.
I don't remember
one of
where
the
you fight him.
places.
I don't. All I know is I didn't like the fight. There's
one of the secret places.
there. You fight the meteorite beast a couple times. You fight most of the.
That's true.
You can literally fight almost every of one of the main boss fights, like Godric the Grafted.
Yeah.
You can fight almost every boss fight in the game more than once, except for, I believe it's Malekith, and it's Lady Renala. Everyone else you can fight. Like in one of the jails, one of those circular jail things, you can fight a Godric in one of those. Literally, Godric the Grafted is in one of those, and that's so dumb.
In what?
And you know the
jail cell?
No, so the circular stone things in the ground
Uh-huh.
where you enter into
Oh
them.
yeah. Wait, Godric is one of those?
Godric is in one of those. Godric the Grafted is in one of those.
I thought I beat all of those. And I don't remember him doing that. Interesting.
It's in Lendale, the top one.
Lendale.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I haven't done that.
It's up there.
Okay.
I don't know. That kind of stuff is just like way to, and then the whole dragon thing of like all these dragons that are the same exact thing but just a different
Cool
element.
dragons.
And like
They had like 2 pretty fucking cool dragons.
well, Aegil was awesome. The first dragon you fight in the lake in the very beginning was awesome.
And then the dragon with all the heads, the Paleo.
Placiduous Axe? I'm not considering that in this one. I'm just talking about the ones that you find in the world. Placiduous Axe is an amazing boss as he is. He's fantastic.
Oh, you mean all the ones in the world? Yeah, all this is the fucking same.
The exact same thing.
Species. God damn it.
But they're the same exact like move sets, everything except for the element they wield.
Yeah.
It's not interesting. There's like magic ones, there's ice ones, there's fire ones. It's just like, and then the giant lizard warrior things that like fall on you, the big ones,
Yeah.
the magma worm.
I don't like those.
Like there's 3 or 4 of those in the world.
Yeah, a lot of same shit.
Sorry, that's my. I know this is a long
Change.
range.
It's number 3 game, and you can bitch about it for fucking 10 minutes.
Freaking love the game still.
Yeah, you keep playing it, dog. That's a good sign that it's like doesn't. It's annoying, but it's not like an end all be all.
It's the reason why I can't put it number 1.
Yeah,
or number 2.
right.
So number 2 is Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. Big Final Fantasy fan. This is just Neo, but with a Final Fantasy skin in a non-traditional level up system because it's all class-based, like old school Final Fantasy, which is an amazing decision, by the way. There are 28 classes to go through, and then there are more in the DLC they keep adding, and that they all control differently. They all do.
That's pretty sick.
They all have not entirely,
You're
but
like kind of a versatile guy. I feel like I've been noticing that more about you. It's
versatile?
like you like versatility in your game.
I do like freedom to be. It's very rare a game like Sekiro comes and changes that for me, you
Right.
know, or it becomes the exception because
Yeah.
Sekiro really
Because
is
Sekiro really is
the exception. There's not
because that was my biggest beef with it. I was like,
Right.
I'm this one person. I don't get to make a character, and I literally have this one weapon plus
Yeah.
the arm weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
Yeah.
what?
But I like the versatility of this. You know, like I think there's 13 or 10 weapons or something like that, and then there's 28
cool.
classes, and there's every class has like unique signature things about them, and certainly beyond like the special move they have, like especially as you get into the master class or the advanced classes, like the top classes, and like Void Knight, like what the hell is that? You know,
What's a Void Knight?
I don't know, like Sage. What do you mean by Sage? Oh, like
I mean, you don't know. You haven't played it.
no, I have. I'm just saying like these like Liberator. What's a Liberator? What's that? You know, it's like all these really cool names and they all have these unique aspects to them. So excellent game. I've mentioned the story stuff earlier with the character of Jack and all that. I loved it. Super fun.
Jack Frost.
Yeah, Jack Frost, that guy.
What's up?
I picked up the platinum within 30 hours, so it's shorter than Neo by a country mile. But it tells a better story than Neo. So there you go.
There you go. Better than Neo.
And my number one, which is
I'm not curious because I feel like
it's ironic, but and this is our podcast. We
it's
can do it.
Inscription, huh?
We can do whatever the hell we want to do. It's our
It's
podcast.
Inscription.
No, it's called Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and it's the DLC. For
Nah,
Monster.
dude.
I could do that.
No,
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want.
it's a full game.
But you're wrong.
It's a full game.
Hey, everyone. Dunk on Luke on the comments.
Look, Monster Hunter Rise was a great game when it came out. It had some issues. One of them being you kind of top out in that game way too quick. Like it's a little shorter than other Monster Hunter games. You know, it's a little more precise with what it's trying to do, but also rampages aren't that fun. But Sunbreak is everything that Rise maybe slipped up in, like Sunbreak corrected and then did more. And you know, bringing the difficulty back to like a hard level. Like I've been fighting this one monster. I think I've failed it 6 or 7 times in a row.
Hell yeah.
Just it's a monster that's hard to fight, and it's like an end game monster. So, they brought the difficulty back. They brought more variety. They've brought more callbacks. You know, they brought in a couple monsters from MHGU, which is like my favorite Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Just a really cool game, but it's basically like the greatest hits of all Monster Hunters. So they did introduce like they introduced who were they for? Sergios, Astalos. Not Kieran, because Kieran was in 4, I think, but a couple other ones. And they brought back a few of those, which is cool to see them because I thought World was trying to do like a fresh take and like start brand new, you know, in one sense, because that's what it really felt like, because they were really just like a lot of new monsters, not a lot of old ones.
Right.
So it's cool to see these ones come back. You know, the art style is still good. It's fantastic on the Switch, to be honest, to be able to sit down in a chair and hunt with your friends, which is like what Monster Hunter's almost always been outside of World. It's always been handheld.
Yeah.
But Rise is just a full, beautiful experience, and I've probably put 160 hours into Sunbreak. No, probably like 180 hours into Sunbreak so far this year. Probably going to put another 180 more, 200 more. It's such a fun. If you have the time to put into this game, it is such a fun and tons of variety.
We have a life, Luke. We can't do that.
I know, but tons of variety too, right? A lot of freedom.
Yeah,
and it's all co-op. It's not versus at all, which is my favorite thing too.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I just loved Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak this year, and
There you go.
it's
So
DLC.
Elden Ring or the Final Fantasy one was his favorite game.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
It was for a long
DLC.
time. Strangers of Paradise was almost number 1.
Yeah.
I mean it was. I mean until I came back on Sunbreak because a friend was playing it, and I just
You
head
just
over
fell back
heels.
in love again.
Head over heels, man.
That's cool. I did download it, what I needed to,
You did?
and I played a match, and I was like, yeah, I need Luke to do this with.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna play this that much by myself.
What were you using?
Just hammer.
The hammer?
Yeah.
I'll show you about some hammer stuff. There's some cool stuff with the hammer.
Oh.
I've done personally, I think around 500 quests on Rise and with the hammer. So probably too many quests, but I'm almost at 100 with the lance, which is fun.
This is
It's a lot of play. That's a lot of Monster Hunter.
It's okay. That's okay.
But then again, I've like